Hello and welcome to another video lecture from MrWatkins.com. I'm Mr. Watkins. We're going to go in this particular video over the 4 brainwave types. Now, like I said, there's 4 brainwave types. These are measured with an electroencephalogram, and they're divided based on their frequency and their amplitude. Let's go through the 4 types here. We've got alpha waves, we've got beta waves, we have theta waves, and we have delta waves. So we have these 4 types, and I'm going to make a little table here. So here's our types, and let's talk about the frequency. Now, if you remember from physics, frequency is basically how closely packed these things are. Let me grab a piece of paper here so that we can I can show you what I mean by this particular thing here. So what we're looking at then is, so here's how long wavelength right there, and so when we look at something that has a higher frequency, the distance between the waves is a lot closer. And then of course a lower frequency, the distance is going to be farther apart. Alpha waves have a frequency between 8 and 13 hertz on average. So that's probably a medium frequency. The highest frequency waves are beta, and they're usually greater than 13 hertz. Okay, so these are going to be, the distance between the waves is going to be a lot shorter than these medium wavelengths. Now the theta waves, they're a little less than the alpha, and they are from 4 to 7 hertz. And then our slowest, or the one that has the longest spread, is going to be less than 4 hertz. Now amplitude, when we're discussing this, the brainwave types, remember we are measuring within electroencephalogram, so it's measuring basically the voltage that's going through the brain that are being produced by the physiological, the metabolic activity that's occurring there in the brain. We're looking at actual voltage here for each of these wavelengths. So your alpha waves have a medium frequency, but they are considered high voltage. Your beta waves, they're low voltage. Your theta waves are low voltage, and your delta waves are higher in their voltage. Well, what does this mean? Or what does all this have to do with the state by which the brain is functioning? So let's walk through this. And we're going to start with our highest frequency and work to the lowest frequency. Your beta waves typically are what you're going to see coming from the frontal or the central parts of the brain. And the individual here, their eyes are open, they're very alert, they're very attentive to what's going on around them. Lots of mental activity here. Now with your alpha waves, we've dropped the frequency a little bit, but our amplitude, the voltage, has come up. And the alpha waves are sometimes referred to as relaxed waves. An individual here is not as alert, they're not as attentive, they're very relaxed in this particular when the brain is giving off these particular waves. And we see this a lot coming from the parietal lobe, the occipital lobe, the posterior part of the temporal lobe, and again, this is more relaxed, non-attentive compared to the beta waves, which are very attentive, very involved in what's going on around in that environment that the brain or that individual is in. Theta waves, that we have a lower frequency, so we're now moving to an even more relaxed state. You've got a drowsiness here. Think of you're tired, you're drowsy, you're starting to become conscious of your surroundings, but you're also almost going into sleep, and that's basically where theta waves come in. Very low voltage, they've got a frequency that's very low, and then eventually, if you're going to sleep, you're going to fall into what we call the deep sleep waves. And so this is when you're actually deep into sleep. To wake you up, someone's going to have to shake you. It's going to have to be a loud thunderclap or something like that to get you to wake up. But your brain activity, the activity is measured by an encephalogram. Electroencephalogram is going to be shown very low frequency, but you've got these big long waves with a lot of amplitude to them, and that is an indication of the sleep. These are the 4 brainwave types. Be sure that you know these and know what they're used for. More information and detailed information certainly you can find online as well as your textbook. Thank you.